Hey everyone, Odds here. Welcome back to the channel for another Meta Monday, where we talk about all things Mechabellum over the past week. We're going to talk a little bit about Mag 1. We have a new Season 5 starting this weekend, so that was kicking off. We have the top 32 players that qualified, able to participate, and it is a closed ladder, and then, it's going to continue for the next few weeks. We've been seeing some pretty cool games out of there, and there's been some changes to the meta. After we talk about Mag 1, we're going to talk about the weekend tournaments as well and cast a game from there, which is going to showcase, I think it's a pretty good showcase of where the state of the game is at this point. But without further ado, okay, so with Mag 1, what we're seeing, honestly, is an increase in the amount of like Fire Badger. We have so previously the Worm and the Raiden were very strong units. We saw them almost every single game. But now, like in the games now, I think people are moving away from that. We see some games where players just skip right to Boat, which is a good counter for both of those units. Like here we go, Till versus Mass's Might. We have the Overlord drop here. And in many other games, we are seeing the Overlord as well. Dusty Sai, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, at about an hour 5. So this is actually really cool. Dusty has these Overlords, but he doesn't have Overload on the tech bar. It's just range. It's just spawning wasps and HE, I believe, and photon. Yeah, there it is. You see the tech bar down below real quick. So don't need Overload because that reduces the range, but this player is using them in a standard game. And like a carry boat standard game, usually you see them in aggro. So it's kind of cool to see different tech choices for that. But yeah, also, as I mentioned earlier, Fire Badgers are popping off a bit. You can see this game with Tongue Dill versus, I'm not sure who. The Saber pack is quite strong, where you just build out Chaff in the first round and then throw down some Fire Badgers. The Fire Badger is, I think the fire damage has increased a bit with the most recent patch. And it's just like very efficient at clearing Chaff. And you would think, because Raiden was super popular, that you wouldn't want to play Fire Badger because they get dominated by the Raiden. But from experience here, I feel like the Fire Badger is just so efficient at Chaff Clear. It does such a good job that then you can throw down your anti-air units behind, whether that be Marksman or Farseer or whatever. And they do, because the chaff gets cleared so efficiently, they can get locks very easily. So people are not afraid of the Raiden anymore. And also you can just throw it on a boat. So that's cool. We even see, I think the Saber start is quite strong. I've been using a lot. It's one of my favorite packs to start with. Just in general, it has been for a little bit. But so Saber mostly played in aggro, but we actually do see a cool game from Sacco at about 120. Yeah, around here. We're going up into the spiders, right? We just have like instant lock-ons with these Sabers with range, playing Saber in standard. Pretty cool. So I kind of like the way that the game is going, and the meta game here is like forming, because there's a whole bunch more variety. People are playing standard and aggro, and both are viable. So it's kind of not bad. But we'll see what happens over this next week, The other thing is there are a lot more like Abyss usages. I feel like most games end up into Abyss, and we see that as well because there's a whole lot of like War Factory action going on. It wasn't showcased so much in Mag 1. We do see a lot of Abyss in Mag 1 this week, but a a lot of players on ladder are using the like War Factory Master sort of strategy where you get the hounds and you get fire on the hounds on like round 2, you burn all the chaff, and then you eventually build the War Factory on like turn 4 or something crazy like that. So then that immediately starts like a tech race right up into Abyss, and then War Factory goes for like steel ball production or whatever, because it throws off the Abyss, and then also with melters. But yeah, it's all right. I think the meta is pretty interesting right now. I like seeing all these new fire badges. I've been using them a lot. I mean, we had the borked builds last week, which kind of started to I don't know if it like maybe influenced, probably not, right? But it's kind of interesting that we were, experimenting with some fire badger stuff last week, and we're seeing the fire badgers a whole lot more now. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's it for Mag 1. Let's jump into the weekend tournaments here. Let me just verify we've got the scene change. Yep. Okay. So Asian region, Feiwa has won the game here, and actually Bear Light coming in second place. So Bear Light's still playing his game. That's good. And then in Europe, I was going to cover this game, but Rooster has won Europe again. I think that's like 3 in a row or something like that. We're not going to cover his game because most likely Rooster's going to have the video up on his channel anyway. But we'll jump over to Americas, and we see Apooche coming with the victory here. And I feel like the game that I've seen here, the finals against Alex, is pretty good for showcasing whereabouts the kind of meta is right now. So this should be a pretty good like learning game here. So yeah, Apooche versus Alex. We've got a few good packs offered. Speed spec. We've got the Saber here. That could be a good choice. Alex going for the Saber pack here. What are we going to see out of Apooche? Yeah, double Saber. So here we go. Jumping right into it. So Apooche with speed, Alex with marksman. And the difference here being crawler into fang. So Alex immediately building out a sort of standard looking board here. We have fangs on the edges, which is kind of cool. Protecting the flank from just about anything in the future, and the marksman covering it all. And then we have the sabers in the middle. And I think this is the formation chosen here because we have the wall and turret in the middle. Now Apooche is going for a different approach here, going for aggro since he has the crawler pack, and then buying some hounds, which pair really well. If you haven't seen my unit pairing video, you can check that out. Maybe there'll be something that pops up. But in the starter packs, yeah, picking the hound with the saber tooth is like A tier, in my opinion. So this looks pretty good. We see a really strong push here. Also note the crawler is first. Tank that cannon. And then the small chungus on the inside is going to probably lock onto the saber. Immediately picking off that chungus, and looks like with the speed, just going to close that gap real fast and 2-tap that other saber. And looks like a pretty easy first round here for Apooche. I wonder why the marksman was picked here. It's a little bit interesting to me, but I feel like maybe that's just because Alex is going for late game. You know what? Honestly, and I didn't mention it earlier, but I've been seeing a ton of marksmen in my games too. I don't know if you guys are, but you know, maybe that's where we're heading next week. The marksman did get a buff for his anti-air, so it went from 75% damage increase to 90% when you click AA. I believe those are the numbers, and that's quite strong. That shuts down the air units pretty well, big tanky air units. Maybe we'll be seeing more more Wasp or something in the future because of that. But yeah, the thing with the marksman though is they don't do a lot of damage at the end of the round. You know, it costs deploys. It's quite expensive on deploys, but light on credits and light on damage. Okay, so now, Alex having the standard, not knowing which side Apooche is going to aggress into, now knows on round 2 and can start billing out the left side. And this is what we were talking about. Hounds, just picks up 3 hounds, gets incendiary. So yeah, this is annoying to say the least to deal with when you are on aggro, because it just shuts down your crawlers. And we already have like 4 packs of crawlers here. Apooche going for this Phoenix round 2 as well. And yeah, look, all those crawlers die. And so now we see the plan forming together. I understand why we have the marksman now, because he was planning on lighting everything on fire. And the marksman just can free farm from the back. And with that, with nothing left on the ground, these Phoenix are not going to survive whatsoever. So let's see how Apooche can respond to this. Double Fire Badger pack offered. Wow. A triple Arclight pack too. Those are quite good. I mean, Void Eyes is good too. For Alex. But Apooche, I'm expecting to go Fire Badger. Oh yeah, we did see the sell of that saber. That's how we got enough money for all this tech. Fire Badger pick for both players. This is a very annoying Fire Badger placement too. You see this sometimes with like sledgehammers put in front of a tower in a vertical formation like this. But man, it's really, really good with the Fire Badger here, because all this chaff that streams in, like everything's lighting on fire. Fire is king right now. And we actually see the saber has missile interceptor tech. So seeing this now, like I've been having, I play very much like this too, like how Apooche does. And I've been struggling a little bit into this Hound Incendiary Bomb. I don't run Missile Interceptor, but I'm going to update my tech bar because this to me looks quite strong. I've been kind of forced to build either an Interceptor device or going into a Mustang and clicking Interceptor there, which I don't really want to do. But yeah, maybe clicking it on the Saber is the winning combination here. So all that fire gets intercepted, even on the left here. Yeah, with that extra Saber Tooth being able to have the extra intercepts, just completely disables the interceptor. And you know what? This is not a very expensive tech on the Saber either. Does that make sense? Ooh, the liability. Saber Tooth gets a lot of experience there. That brand new Saber. This one's almost leveled. Apooche finds a good way to sort of solve that incendiary problem. He's going to just kind of run over Alex right now. Some decent damage, under 3k now. We do get that level. Lightning Storm, Ion, both offered expensive spells on round 4, but could be worth it. Proof Firepower and Underground Threat also available. Underground Threat could be pretty interesting for Apooche. Alex goes for the skip because they're going right into Factor here. You see this placement. Look at this. Just like a perfect little spot for it. Apooche taking time to consider the options. Maybe calculating if it's worth it to buy these spells. It is early and has a lot of HP, could come back, but yeah, it goes for the Underground. Also vulnerable to Underground over here too, so let's see if he goes offense or defense. Offense looks like I should be pretty good at dealing with this. We do see a flank Fang here, which should slow down the push from Apooche. I mean, he is speed spec, so you do have to be careful. And then the War Factory, So once everything lights on fire, which, I mean, it's not going to anymore with the missile interceptor, but the War Factory has this beautiful little tucked in position here, very safe, and keeps these marksmen safe behind it too. We have the Fangs that are going to slowly walk up around it as well to protect it, and a bunch of crap in front. It does very well at clearing the Saber. If you think, you know, Saber, it can kill a level 1 War Factory, but man, as soon as that thing gets leveled, the Sabers are a friggin' liability. I run into this problem sometimes where I'm like, I think I can end the game with my like level 3, level 4 Sabers before the War Factory can scale, but it's scary. So I'm interested to see what Apooche does here. And it looks like this is going to be fine this turn, right? We've got the tower, which closes the door. And but you saw it right at the end there. The War Factory, once the buff ended, did kill both of those Sabers. So even though it was taking a lot of damage, it will scale. It does not get a level. Nuke. Mobilize battleship. Huh. So Apooche probably should be careful about the battleship. Alex goes for efficient tech, though. And another War Factory over here. That'll prevent anything coming in on the right side here. Apooche goes for the skip. And we get a jump drive. Okay, so I see. The jump drive is great. That's going to protect against a potential battleship drop here. We already have some crawlers to tank the first hit. And with the level on the Phoenix, should have no problem if there was a battleship deployed. Apooche goes right into the abyss now, says, you know what? We're not going to try to deal with this with the Sabers. We're going to force Alex to make some difficult decisions in order to deal with the abyss. Right? You got to go, you know, Melter or AA or something, right? There's not enough anti-air on the board right now. War Factory goes for range. What do you see? Steel ball production. Maybe we'll see that next turn once seeing the abyss. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. Oh no, he didn't sell. It's underneath. I was wondering where that blue Saber went. Yeah. So also, again, with the Fire Badger being so efficient at shaft clear, the Abyss can land shots. This is great when it can hit his targets. If it can't, it is like the worst unit in the game. You just see it shooting and missing little steel balls that pop out of the War Factory. Marksman gets a lock, but it's going to take like so many shots to deal with that. So looks like this turn is going in Apooche's favor here. And is there anything Alex can do to shut this down, or is Apooche too far ahead now in units and tech? Overlord, Arc, Steel Ball, Tarantula. Alex going for the Overlord cell to try and get some melters with range. That's the answer to the Abyss here. Apooche goes for the Steel Ball. Gonna put some pressure on the right side with those balls. That's always good with the unit deploy round. Like if you have the tempo and you get a double drop, you can now, I mean, the Abyss is here, right? So is expecting Alex to try to defend this side. Alex wisely is defending both sides in case another Abyss or something comes down, which it does. But with these extra steel balls, it's going to be tricky to deal with. There's a lot more units in the way. And then we also see very quick tech for Dark Companion. It's going to help tank that first melter. So if a melter was going to try to lock onto it right away, like if there's like missiles or like something that happens that would make that early lock, the Dark Companion prevents that from happening. It also conveniently has a possibility of stopping wasps to be the answer. Oh, nice. With this jump drive too, we do see a whole lot of stuff coming here on the right, even a missile coming down. A little surprise attack here. Also beautiful oil coming down with that side flank using the fire badgers against him. Lighting the oil and burning everything up, which gives easy targeting for this abyss. Right side tower goes down. Everyone's just cruising through, and there's just so much stuff left. With that, Apooche easily shuts down this war factory shenanigans. So, quick game here, but I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you can see some of these cool little variants happening in the meta this week. This is a fairly typical game, but Apooche just makes it look so easy. So I'm going to be stealing this missile interceptor tech back and seeing how quickly the abyss gets thrown down. As soon as you see the war factory, you have to respond right away. So I think that's been my mistake in some of my games. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know, I can't afford it. Maybe next turn. But then by next turn, you know, war factory gets a level and it starts to scale and it gets a lot more difficult. So pretty cool game. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. If you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing. We're really trying to get to 1,000 subs. That would be fantastic for us. You know, share this with your friends or whatever. And I'll see you guys next time.